In this video, I'm going to be ranking the best cards to have dropped in Season 5 in NBA 2K25 My Team. We have a tier list here ranking from S that does go all the way down to D tier. And like I said, we have, in my opinion, all of the best cards to drop in Season 5. I like making this video at the end of each season, just so you guys can see all of the cards, in my opinion, the best cards that have dropped in that season. So we have about 60-ish of the best cards from Season 5, including free cards like Brandon Roy, including, the mobile event Spotlight Sims free card, Kyle Kuzma, including all the 100 overall cards that dropped, and also some like budget B, some other like, free exchange cards, cards from the Bracket Busters Festival like Zach Edey, Blake Griffin, all of the best cards that just have dropped in Season 5 will be on this tier list. So honestly, guys, there is no bad card on this list. I think everyone here is actually a great card. So if you see some cards in D or C tier, I don't think they're necessarily bad. I just know that we have so many great cards that have dropped in season number 5. Excited for season 6. Hopefully you guys are as well. And at the end of season 6, I'll be making the same tier list, with all the best cards to have dropped in season number 6. But first card here on the season 5 tier list is going to be the free level 40 Brandon Roy. And as much as I want to put that card in S tier, like I think you definitely could put him in the S tier category. He is still a very good shooting guard, and I think it's one of the better level 40 cards to have dropped in 2K25 My Team. Obviously, I didn't play for the first 4 seasons, but I know last season was Dwayne Wade. I would say Brandon Roy is probably better than Dwayne Wade. He might be better than that D-Rob, but I think that's maybe a close debate. And then I think it was like Tyrese Halliburton in season 2. I know that card sucked. And then Tracy McGrady, he might have been like okay. Like he was pretty good. I used that card for a little bit in season 1, but Brandon Roy, this Dark Matter, might be the best level 40 so far in 2K25. But we obviously have the 100 overall Tim Duncan coming out next season, who probably will be better than Brandon Roy. But I think this card was really good for his time, and I think he's had great longevity throughout this entire season. At the end of the season, you would expect him to maybe not be that great, but he is still debatably a top 5 shooting guard in this game. And if you don't count 100 overall cards like Carmelo Anthony, Vince Carter, I would say he's easily a top 5 shooting guard in this entire game. So Brandon Roy, really great card. I don't know if I can put him in S tier because, again, there's a lot of 100 overall cards, and there's some better shooting guards in my opinion that have dropped in season 5. So I do think Brandon Roy is going to be in that high A tier category, like 100 overall Luka. I think he's a better card than Brandon Roy. Sure, he didn't get the greatest dribble sigs in the world, but he still has an elite level jump shot. He's still a 6'7" point guard with 99 stats and 30 Hall of Fame badges. That I do think Luka is going to be our first S tier card that did drop in season 5. Talking about Gary Payton, I think he's probably A tier as well. He's very close to being on that cusp of the S tier category. Like, he's an elite level point guard. He's really good defensively, but again, there's 100 overall point guards like Luka, D-Book, MJ that I just think are a little bit better than Gary Payton. So I think he's a great card, but I do think he's going to be in that A tier category. Looking at the next card, here's Bob McAdoo. He's a great card. He was the domination reward for season 5. Probably like B tier for him. I think he's great. Is he on the level of like a Brandon Roy or a Gary Payton? I personally don't think so, but he's good defensively. He was a great free card that did drop, in season 5. I think Kawhi Leonard's probably S. After Carmelo Anthony and maybe Vince Carter, I do think Kawhi is the best shooting guard Dark Matter in this game, and he does, he's pretty expensive, but I do think he could be worth his price if you're looking for a top tier shooting guard. He's 6'7" at the 2, 7'3" wingspan. Kawhi plays amazing defense. I mean, he basically has 100 overall type of stats and badges. His jump shot's really good on very quick. He's got solid dribble sigs. He's got the best motion style in this game, in my personal opinion. So I do think Kawhi Leonard is better than Brandon Roy at the shooting guard position. Chet, I think you probably have to put in S tier. Like, I think that's a really close debate, but I do think he's better than Gary Payton. I think he's definitely better than Brandon Roy. He's a really good defensive power forward card, and I think he's one of the better cards to have dropped in season 5. Talking about Jalen Suggs, I know a lot of people have been hyping up this card, but like realistically, is he in the B tier category? He's probably C in my personal opinion. I know he's good, for an exchange card, 6'5" point guard, 6'5" wingspan. To me, he kind of seems like an Alex Caruso type of card. Maybe I'm a little bit, low on this card, but I would say he's probably in that C tier category. I think Dyson Daniels is B tier. I think he's better than Jalen Suggs. He's 6'5", better defender. I like his jump shot more in my personal opinion. I do think Dyson Daniels can maybe even be considered as an A tier card to drop in season 5, but I think realistically, most likely going to be in B tier. Joel Embiid, I mean, wherever you put Chet, I think you probably also got to put Embiid. I think Embiid is very underrated. He is a great power forward card. He's got a great jump shot, really good player model, and I think he's actually got pretty good dribble sigs as well for a big man card. So I do think Embiid is going to be in that S tier category. Kel'el Ware, easy A tier. I mean, he's one of the best pink diamonds in this entire game. He's probably the best pink diamond to have dropped in season 5. He is so good defensively, has a great jump shot. I do think he's going to be in that A tier category. Jonathan Isaac, I would say, is probably like high B or low A tier. He's really good defensively. I think for that reason, I'm a little bit higher on this card than most people. I know most people would probably have him in B tier, but he's 6'10" at small forward, 7'2" wingspan, and I just think he's one of the best defending cards in this entire game. It's not necessarily due to his stats and his badges, which are pretty much perfect, but it's just his card. I don't know what it is in game, but his player model, his animations are ridiculous defensively. I feel like he gets every single bump steal. He seems to get every single chase down block. He's really good at flying around the court and contesting every single shot. So I do think Jonathan Isaac's going to be in that A tier category. Talking about Rudy Gay, I mean, like, you kind of almost got to put him in A tier as well, but I'm going to go high B tier for Rudy Gay. Probably going to be one of the best cards in B. Did I say A tier? I'm going to go high B tier for Rudy Gay. I mean, he is so good as an offensive card. I just think he lacks defense, stats, and badges wise. So I do think he's going to be in that B tier category. Jeremy Shohan, probably on that same tier as Jalen Suggs. Good exchange cards, but in the grand scheme of things, again, all of these cards on this tier list are very good at their position, but there's just cards, you know, at the point guard spot, like 100 overall MJ, that you just kind of have to put in the S tier category. One of the best cards to drop in season 5, still the best point guard in my personal opinion, one of the best through hunting cards, if not the best through hunting card in this entire game. It's 100 overall MJ. He's going to be in that S tier category. Kenny Martin, a little bit underrated. I think he's actually probably B tier. Like, I don't think he's much worse than a Rudy Gay, and maybe you could even argue he's better than Rudy Gay. Like, I think that's a close debate. I think Kenny Martin's actually very underrated to have dropped in season 5, and I do think he's going to be a B tier card. DeMar DeRozan, very underwhelming. I think he's going to be C tier, and I wouldn't be surprised if you wanted to put DeMar in the D tier category. Realistically, just not that great of a shooting guard. Talking about Dark Matter Lonzo, I think he's probably on that same ranking as like a Gary Payton. I think he's very good defensively. I like him more than GP. I think he's got a better player model, a little bit more size, better defensively because of those reasons. And I do like his jump shot about the same as Gary Payton. So both of those guys I think are easily going to be A tier cards that have dropped in season 5. 100 overall Curry. Can you put him in the A tier category? I think you could, but I'm probably going to go B tier for 100 Curry. He's really good offensively, has a great jump shot. He's super fun to use, but like realistically, when we're talking about the meta point guards, the taller PGs like Luka, Lonzo, MJ, you know, Dyson Daniels, like he's sort of on that Dyson Daniels ranking in a completely different way. Dyson's got that size, that defense, but Curry's got really elite and electric offensive ability, but I don't know if I can put 100 overall Curry in that A tier category. Ricky Davis, that's a tough one. I don't know if you put Ricky in B or A. Like, I think he's great, but I think he's realistically going to be in that B tier category. Love his jump shot. I just wish he had better dribble sigs, but I do think he's honestly a great card that has dropped in season 5. Vucevic is probably B or C tier. Realistically, probably C tier for Vucevic. He's good at power forward. He has a good jump shot, but does lack a little bit of size and defense at the power forward position. Josh Smith, he might be an S tier card. He is so good at small forward. Like, that torpedo set with Josh Smith and Kawhi, like those two Dark Matters are seriously some of the best cards in this entire game. Like, if we're not counting 100 overall cards, they're probably both like top 5 to 10-ish, you know, Dark Matter cards in this entire game. They're both great at the respective position. Josh Smith is an elite level defender with a top fast level jump shot as well. 100 overall Carmelo, I mean, he's just got to be an S tier, right? Like, such a good offensive card. He's 100 overall. I mean, besides Steph Curry, probably all the 100 overall cards will be in the S tier category. I think Dark Matter D-Rob, he's also got to be an S. I mean, I think he's a better power forward than Chet. I think he's a better power forward than Embiid. He's got a great player model, really good jump shot in my personal opinion. I mean, it's Dark Matter D-Rob. I think he's an easy S tier choice. Now, for Dark Matter Ron Artest, this might be a little bit controversial. I think he's going to be high A tier. I think he's worse than Carmelo Anthony, Kawhi Leonard at the shooting guard position. It's going to be very close margins for a lot of cards on this tier list. Like, between Ron Artest and Kawhi, I think it's very close. I think Ron Artest is still very good at the shooting guard position. You guys know how much I love this card. I think he's better than like a Dark Matter Dr. J, you know, even maybe a Dark Matter Brandon Roy. I think that's a close comparison at the shooting guard position. So that's why I do think Ron Artest is going to be in that high A tier category. LaMelo Ball, is he better than Curry? I don't realistically know. I'm not a huge fan of this LaMelo card. I think Gary Payton and Lonzo are like a step above, and Maybe I'm going to get some flack for that in the comments. You guys can let me know, but realistically, I might take 100 overall Curry over LaMelo Ball, and I know for sure I would take Gary Payton and Lonzo Ball over LaMelo. Looking at Derrick Rose, he's going to be our first D tier card. Felt like I had to kind of include him just because he is a dark matter card that came out in season 5, but realistically, again, he's not bad. He's still a good rim running point guard, but compared to the amazing cards that we've gotten in season 5, I do think he's going to have to be in that D tier category. Talking about Rudy Gobert, I think he could be B, but I'm probably going to go C tier for Rudy Gobert. I think Tyson Chandler is just a better card. I think he's got a better jump shot, plays just as good of defense as well. So I'm going to go Rudy Gobert in the C tier category. He's a good card though, in my personal opinion. I'm also going to drop DeMar DeRozan down to D tier. I think that card honestly sucks. I think he could have been a lot better. And Tyson Chandler is really, really good at the center and power forward position. 100 overall Shaq, I mean, very clearly going to be in the S tier category. You guys know, like I said, pretty much every 100 overall card is going to be an S tier. Shaq, they gave him a great jump shot with that Chris Bosh base, the Franz Wagner upper on quick timing. He's also got guard type of dribble sig, so Shaq is unbelievable. He's easily going to be an S tier. Kobe White, I think, is probably C. I like him more than a Derrick Rose at point guard. He's really good with that dynamic duo with Lauri Markkanen. We'll try to find that card. And I think Lauri's probably also going to be in C tier. Now, if you count the duo, I think they both could be in the B tier category, but as both, you know, Pink Diamond for Kobe White, Galaxy Opal for Lauri Markkanen, without the dynamic duo, I think they're going to be in that C tier category. I think Vlade Divac is a solid B tier option. He's a really good defensive power forward or center. You know, he's 7'1", has a good jump shot, plays good defense, just all around a beast that did drop in season 5. I think Scotty Barnes is probably C tier, good defensively at small forward, but kind of lacks a lot of offense, not a great jump shot in my personal opinion, so I do think he's going to be in that C tier category. Talking about 100 overall Chris Webber and dark matter Kareem, I think are both easily going to be in the S tier category. We're probably going to have tons of cards in S because, I mean, you can't not include like Chris Webber. He's probably one of the best cards, if not the best cards in this game. You can't leave Kareem in the A tier category. He's easily an S tier card. I don't want to drop like Embiid down to A tier because he is so good at power forward. And yeah, so I think Kareem Dark Matter, easy S, and I think Chris Webber, also an easy S tier category. OG Anunoby's good. I think he's sort of underrated, but I would probably put him in that C tier category. He's a good defender. He's a good two-way card, but does lack, you know, the greatest of jump shots in the world. Tyler Hansbrough, I would say easy B tier card. I don't think he's like that upper echelon in that A tier category, but I do think Tyler Hansbrough is going to be in that B tier spot. Adam Morrison, I know a lot of people love this card. I'm going to put him in A, but I think for me personally, I would probably put him in the B tier category. I'm just not great with that card, but I know a lot of people do love him a lot, love his jump shot. I'm just not a big fan of his release. I think that's the one big flaw about the card, is he kind of does have an overrated jump shot with that Jerry West upper, but I do think Adam Morrison, for a majority of the community, is going to be in that A tier category. DeJounte Murray's pretty good. I do like him over like a Jalen Suggs, a Jeremy Shohan, a Kobe White. You know, he's kind of on that same ranking as like a Dyson Daniels. You know, not that much worse than like a LaMelo Ball or a Steph Curry. Talking about Juan Dixon, I want to put him in A tier so bad because, you know what, I'm going to do it. I think Juan Dixon is absolutely amazing at the point guard position. I think he's Steph Curry with a better jump shot and better dribble sigs. If you take a look at his jump shot, he's got that Patty Mills base, KCP upper on very quick. He's got great dribble sigs across the board. I absolutely love this card stats and badges wise as well. And he's about the same height and wingspan as Steph Curry. Maybe not as great of a player model, but I do think Juan Dixon is actually going to be in that low A tier. Talking about Kyle Korver, realistically going to be in C. I think he's got a great jump shot. He's a good offensive shooting guard, but I think there's better shooting guards in the B tier category, like Ricky Davis, for example. We haven't really got any other shooting guards so far. Drazen Petrovic, I think, is probably in C tier as well. Same card as Kyle Korver, just a little bit shorter. 100 overall Devin Booker, again, I feel like has to be in that S tier category. He's a 100 overall card. He has a good jump shot, solid dribble sigs, easily going to be in the S tier category. Jared Wallace, I think, is very underrated. I like Jared Wallace a lot. I'm going to put him in the B tier category. I think he's great defensively. He has a quick jump shot in the catch and shoot. I know most people might have him lower, but I really like Jared Wallace. Gonna put him in B tier. I think Brandon Ingram is also great. Gonna put him in B tier as well. He's 6'10" at the shooting guard position. I think his jump shot's underrated, but that size at shooting guard really does help this card out a ton. And I think he's a B tier season 5 card. Kyle Kuzma's solid. I think he's C tier. I don't think he's one of the worst cards to drop in season 5, but I also don't think he's anywhere near like the top tier small forwards that we have in B, A, and S tier. Talking about 100 overall Blake and Dark Matter Zach Edey. Again, very obvious S tier cards. Zach Edey, in my opinion, is the best center in this game and probably a top 3 to 5 card. Blake Griffin is also like a top 5 card in this game. Both are amazing at their respective position. Blake Griffin is great slashing wise. He's 100 overall, 99 every single stat with a good jump shot. Zach Edey's 7'5" at center, one of the best player models. They gave him 86 speed, 86 agility. That card is unbelievably unstoppable. Maybe like the best card in this entire game, if we're being honest. Austin Reeves was a really good pro pass card. I don't think I can put him in A tier just because of his lack of offense, but lack of defense, but he definitely didn't lack an offense. His offense is amazing. He's got a great jump shot. But like I said, I think that defense does hold him back quite a bit. Shawn Kemp, I would say, is B tier. He's a good small forward all the way around. He's a great slasher, has good stats and badges, but just lacks that crazy good jump shot and those dribble sigs. Jerry Stackhouse, I think, is A tier. I think he's a very underrated shooting guard. Maybe he wasn't worth his price of how many exchange event pieces he cost, but I think he's a very good shooting guard. He's just super well-rounded with a great jump shot. I think Joakim Noah is B tier. To me, he's just a better Bob McAdoo. I like Kel'el Ware personally a little bit more at the power forward position. Russell Westbrook is actually not that bad. Gonna put him in C tier. He's just a better Derrick Rose. Matt Barnes is also B tier. Might be surprising, but he is great offensively and also a great defender as well at the shooting guard position. I think Caruso, he's a little bit better than Jalen Suggs in my personal opinion. I think he's going to be in B tier. 100 overall Kristaps, very easy choice. Once again, he's going to be in that S tier category. And then for the last 2 cards, Jonathan Bender and Carlos Boozer, I think are both going to be in B tier. I mean, Bender is a 7-foot small forward. Carlos Boozer has a great jump shot and is a very good defensive card. So in my opinion, guys, this is going to be my ranking of all of the best cards to drop in season 5. Once again, just want to preface, I think all of these cards on this tier list are great, and every single tier is very close. Like all these guys in A, could potentially move up to S tier. Some of these cards in B could also potentially be in A tier. It's a very close ranking. All these cards on this tier list, even in C tier, are great options at their position. But let me know in the comment section down below, what was your guys' favorite card to drop in season 5? Comment down below one card that you guys enjoyed using the most in season 5, and hopefully you guys did enjoy this tier list. Let's have a great season 6, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.